Welcome to another episode of that deep shit where we connect the dots. And on today's episode, we're on the road. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about what is causing the extreme weather phenomenon that we're experiencing in the West or in the United States, okay? All right, so to keep it very short and sweet, is the cause is the sun. Now, mind you, we're coming on the heels of a total solar eclipse that was experienced in this country in the last 2 weeks or so. All right, so that's got to keep that in mind. All right, so it's the sun, and the way that the sun works is that the sun releases and generates many different types of particulate matter in the form of ions, in the form of photons, and many more other type of particulate matter in different type of wave bands. And what I mean by wave bands is there's visible light, there's ultraviolet light, for example, there's infrared light, and there's many other different wave bands of light, known and unknown alike. Okay? All right. So what happens is when these different particulate matter hit the spheres of this planet, and when I say spheres, for you flat earthers, I'm talking about the ionosphere, the atmosphere, and all the other spheres in between. And these are what you will call firmaments. There are many different firmaments, not just one. All right, okay. So what happens is when these photons, for example, hit the surface of the spheres, we call this resonance, okay? So when that happens, this causes a friction. When anything comes in contact with another surface or any other type of object, it's a friction. So if you rub your hands together like that, that's an example, right, of friction. So pretty much when a particle hits the atmosphere, it creates a friction. A byproduct of that event of friction is radiation, or what happens is radiation, okay? And something, or what you will call a byproduct of radiation, is heat. So if you rub your hands together, that's an example of friction, you will notice that your hands will get warm. It causes, because that's radiation, and radiation is the primary cause of heat. Not fire, but heat. Okay? Alright? Okay. So in this process of creating this heat from the atmospheres, right? You gotta remember that when you start to descend down from the different firmaments or levels, when you get into the ozone layer, that's the oxygen layer, you know what I'm saying? And then it trickles down. These particles are still inside of these layers. Okay. So, and another thing you have to take in consideration is the people, the carbon-based people, the melanated people, the people of the sun. Okay? There's a reason why we're called the people of the sun. Alright? We attract that. You know what I'm saying? Just like certain colors attract heat. Certain colors attract heat. We attract those particulate energies. Okay? So, depending on the geographical location of a certain group of people, or a collective group of people, I should say, will cause different types of weather patterns. You see what I'm saying? You can even see this in just normal geological weather patterns, but we're talking about extreme right now because the sun is doing extreme things right now. Okay? It's connecting with its people. That's what's happening. So depending on the collection of people and geological location, because the people are connected to the earth. So when you have different elements like land and water, you see what I'm saying? An abundance of melanin or carbon, this creates a beacon per se. For example, it was 105 in San Francisco the other day. That makes no sense. That's unheard of. That's retarded. You know what I'm saying? In Sacramento, it was 119. What? That's crazy, right? But what I'm saying is that the ancestors travel along these bands through these elements as well. You see what I'm saying? So when you're seeing hurricanes and shit, you're seeing ancestral action and movement. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're seeing. And, you know, the ancestors communicate in certain kind of ways. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So, that's the reason. So depending on, like, so take for Texas, for example, right? You know what I'm saying? Texas is kind of shaped in an upside down U in that Gulf. That Gulf is like an upside down U. So it's kind of land surrounding water. So remember, heat is a byproduct of radiation, and radiation is a byproduct of friction, and the source of all of that is the sun, right? So that heat is that element of water, right? Infusing with that element of air, right? And this is all ancestral shit. You know what I'm saying? They get to talking, and they get to, you know what I'm saying, putting together a compilation of some shit, and they like, okay, we finna come together like Voltron and talk to him real quick. So these are all messages in divinity. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Just a little quick little video. Drop that, and yeah, keep the third eyes open. Peace.